For the past 4 weeks, I have been going back and forth between these two gorgeous headphones. One of them costs $500, the other costs $2,000. And I've been trying to decide if I can really tell the $1,500 worth of difference between the two. So this is the Meze 105 Silva. This is the $500 headphone. This is the $2,000 Meze Poet. And despite the technical superiority of the Poet, I can't help but keep reaching for the 105 Silva. Keeping in mind that I am not an audiophile expert, I don't have thousands of dollars of equipment. And after having reviewed dozens and dozens of different kinds of headphones, I think I can have a fair assessment of these two. I want to give a huge shout out to Meze Australia, who kindly loaned me these two headphones just to try out. They're not paying for this video. They're not paying for me to say anything. They just wanted me to experience it, make a video, and share with you guys what I feel about both these headphones. These will both be going back to Meze after this video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so some of you may not have heard of Meze or Meze, depending on where you come from in the world, but they are a brand known for making high quality headphones with a lean to stunning retro futuristic design. Neither of these are your everyday kind of headphones that you just walk into a store and buy. Anyone who buys a Meze headphone knows what they're getting into. For me, this was an introduction to the brand. I had seen them online in YouTube videos, but this was my first time to get hands-on with them, and it's been quite an interesting journey. All right, so let's talk about what these actually are. Both the Meze Poet and the 105 Silva are open back headphones. What does that mean? It means that the back sides of the ear cups are open to let air and sound out, which gives you a more natural sound, almost as if you are hearing speakers next to your ear rather than that closed in sound of closed back headphones. Now, in terms of design, both these headphones are absolutely gorgeous, but I want to start with the cheaper one, which is the 105 Silva. This just looks absolutely stunning. This is a beautiful piece of art as far as I'm concerned, especially because of this real walnut wood finish on the ear cups. I love how these look with this unique suspension headband that's a little bit elastic. It is a self-adjusting headband. So when you put it on, there's no fiddling around with the notches to get it to fit. It just sits snugly depending on your head side. As you can see, it sort of stretches and moves with me. That makes it exceptionally comfortable. These soft fabric ear cushions are so gentle on the ears. I absolutely love them. If you are in hot environments, hot room, these will obviously get sweaty faster. But look at this thing. Look at the metal finish on the headband. I love the spring sort of loaded. You can sort of adjust this to fit. So there is no serious clamping force on these that would make your ears uncomfortable. And these circumaural ear cups easily cover even the largest ears. Some may say there's not that much depth in the ear cups to completely swallow, but for my case, I have had no problem with these. The attention to detail that Meze puts on their headphones is astonishing. These are just beautiful. I love the mid-century modern look that Meze is going for. I think these are one of the most beautiful pair of headphones I have ever seen. Just chef's kiss. And then turning to the $2,000 Meze Poet. This is also a beautiful headset, but in my opinion, not quite as beautiful as the 105 Silvers. Nonetheless, just looking at this design, looking at the copper colored accents that sort of stand out, and the detail on the cups that are used, this is like just a piece of beautiful machined metal. It looks fantastic up close. The Poet also uses a similar suspension headband. It's somewhat different. This is not padded headband, unlike the Silva, which has a bit of padding on it, and it doesn't have the same elastic design that moves with you. This uses a traditional sliding yoke mechanism to adjust the fit, and I noticed the rails on the headband are also a little bit thinner. A lot of the materials used in here are more premium. The Poet is using a titanium alloy for the metal parts of the headband, the copper-based ear cups, of course, and the yokes for the ear cushions. The cushions themselves are not fabric, they are leather, which is super soft and supple. These things feel fantastic on the ears, and unlike the Silva, even if you are in hot environments, there will be very minimal sweating. The cushions themselves are magnetically detachable. That means that if anything ever happens to these, if they get torn or anything, it's just a simple matter of ordering a pair and replacing them. With the Silva, I don't think that's possible. You just might have to replace the entire headphone, but this is a nice addition. The other thing, as you've probably noticed, is that the ear cups swivel 360 degrees, so you can really find a comfortable position. And also, if you just want to rest them on your neck, you can do that, which is really great. That's something that the Silva cannot do. I think this does feel and look premium. Does it look and feel $1,500 more premium than the Silva? I don't think so. Like I said, this is a classy looking headphone. It looks like the kind of headphone you'll see in those photo shoots in Vogue magazine, where someone's sitting in a high-rise loft in New York City with ultra minimal furniture and everything. This is a solid headphone. So is the Silva. Their build quality is exceptional. There is no creaking, no squeaking, nothing untoward. Everything feels smooth and it just fits so wonderfully. I do feel that the Poet has a slightly tighter clamp than the Silvas, which makes the Silvas, in my opinion, more comfortable than these. But overall, these are still some of the most comfortable headphones you can buy. I have mentioned again that this doesn't have the self-adjusting headband that the Silvas do, which I miss because I need to fiddle with this a little bit more, trying to get it to fit exactly how I want it to. That said, the headband design on both of these really is comfortable, really removes any pressure on my head. Both have a very wide strap, which means that the weight is very evenly distributed. When you are follically challenged like I am, that makes a difference. If you have a massive afro like my beautiful wife, yeah, that might not be as comfortable, but for most people, this will be extremely comfortable headphones. Poet does come with this solid carrying case, which allows you to store your headphones, and it has this supremely gorgeous hand braided copper cable that just feels so nice and so solid. It terminates in a 6.3 millimeter jack, which obviously means you will need some kind of audio equipment that accepts this kind of termination. Silva comes with a standard 3.5 millimeter and also has a USB-C dongle, which allows you to connect it to things like your smartphone. Fun fact, these cables are interchangeable, so I was able to use the cable for the Silva on the Poet without any issue. The Silva also comes with a carrying case, which is a little bit more palatable than the ginormous carrying case of the Poet. And inside you get a nice little pouch for storing your accessories, as well as the USB dongle that we talked about, which is nice. All right, so moving on to how these actually sound. Now, as I've said at the start of this video, I'm not an audiophile expert, so I do not have any fancy measurement equipment or graphs to show you. That doesn't mean much to me and probably not to you as my audience who come to watch these videos that aren't just laden with boring specs and things that don't mean anything in real life to you. I will be sharing about how these sound to me, which is extremely subjective because we all have different ears, different ear shapes, different ear canal shapes. We are different ages. So the way we hear sound is going to be extremely personal and subjective. What I can say is that both of these headphones sound very good. As I've also said, both these headphones are open back headphones, which has a very different sound signature to what most people would be used to, because all your consumer based headphones like your AirPods Max and your Sonys and your Bose are closed back headphones, which means when they produce sound, that sound sort of reverberates in this little echo chamber on your ears. These are open backs, which mean they're more airy. It doesn't, the sound that the drivers in both these headphones make is able to escape the headphones, which gives that more natural sound. That is great for listening to music as if you were at a concert or a live performance yourself. And it's also great in gaming, especially in games like Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3, large open world games where you are in large spaces and you want to hear as if you are right there. So the immersion. Now, the Poet uses a very fancy isodynamic hybrid array planner driver. That's a mouthful. There is a world of difference between the technology in these two headphones, but again, it's all subjective to you, the listener. You may have a different profile, sound profile that you prefer. I prefer clean, airy sound with a good touch of sub bass that makes you feel the bass rather than hear it. And suffice to say, neither of these headphones kind of gives me the kind of sound I prefer. I've listened to multiple genres of music, from your hip hop to your pop to your orchestral to film scores to electronic. And both of these handle them really, really well. There's so much detail and clarity. I can hear all the instruments and little details and nuances. And after listening to all that music, I will say that I just feel like these both are at the precipice of what kind of sound I want. The bass is just so restrained, and I know that it's part of the design of open back headphones. You're not going to get that really hard hitting bass, but I have listened to some open backs that really do produce that sub bass that I enjoy particularly. Subjectively, I feel like they both sound very clean, very amazing. Nothing is overly colored in any way. But that said, I don't find them as fun to listen to in music as some other headphones. The Silva is slightly warmer with a slightly punchier bass and mid-tone than the Poet, and I find myself gravitating to this a bit more to listen to music. In saying that, when it comes to playing games with these headphones, I've played a few games. Both of these do a great job at that. Things sound really detailed and clear. Environments are alive. That said, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops 7 lately, which is strange to me because I've never been one to play sweaty multiplayer games. But in those kind of games, I have found it really difficult using these headphones to pinpoint where footsteps are coming from. And if you've played those kind of games, you know how important it is to be able to hear where guys are running from, or else you get shot in the back so many times. And that is exactly what happened to me while using these. And that was made even more obvious when I tried a $100 pair of gaming headphones from HyperX that was able to really precisely give me the direction of footsteps where people are running throughout the game, something that this $2,000 headphone couldn't do. I was really surprised about that. Maybe I'm missing something, but I needed to mention that when it came to that kind of game, I was not really impressed. But like I said, shift to Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Shadows, or one of those big open world games, especially those that have um, open fields and forests and things. You hear the wind blowing and the leaves rustling and the little sounds of animals and birds all around. It is fantastic on both these headphones. I absolutely love this. And in those scenarios, I will say that the Poet does better than the Silva in those cases. But overall, not by that much. Not by that much. It's something you have to be specifically looking for. It's not night and day. And that brings me to one of the challenges that I had experiencing both these headphones is that the difference is not night and day. It's not $1,500 worth of difference between these two. And that surprised me. These both sound so close, and it's just that the Silver sounds a little bit warmer, a little bit on the more richer side, while the Poet sounds just a lot more clear, clean, and precise. And that's a nuanced difference, right? It will be different for different people. So, really, when it comes to sound performance, I would say for music listening, I definitely preferred the Silver. For gaming, preferred the Poet. Okay, so after a month of going back and forth between these two every single day, you can begin to see my dilemma where I'm trying to understand why anyone would pick this $2,000 Meze over the $500 Meze. They both sound amazing. They both look amazing. They both feel amazing on the head. But the difference between them is so small to my ears that I just don't see the justification of picking the more expensive over the less expensive. Either way, I'm really grateful to Meze for giving me an opportunity to try both of these. I would highly, highly recommend the 105 Silva for anybody who wants to step up from your traditional Bose or Sony headphones. These are extremely well designed headphones. But that's it for my journey into the world of Meze. I am excited to get hands on with more of their products. I think they're incredibly well built. They sound amazing. They look amazing. And I hope this video was helpful to you guys to give you an idea of what this world of headphones is like. You may never have heard of Meze before. I hope you've heard of them now. As always, thank you for watching this video. I will catch you in my next one. God bless. Peace.